Okay, so it's GBrush. I just import all those four objects. So gold ornaments, solo this out, and then the rivets, maybe this one, and then the metal armor, or just steel pieces here, and then the leather. Make sure all the normals are correct. And lastly, gold pieces. Okay. So I will subdivide each one to maybe something that I can sculpt, like some damages. So I think 2 million. Let's try. Maybe one more time. I think this one should be enough. This amount of flexibility, and then the leather. Six subdivision for those two, and rivet and buckle. Those two won't get much of a skirt, honestly. And maybe just a bit of a noise, and then that should be just enough. So just a couple of times. It's just so small that it's there's nothing much to sculpt really. Maybe some scratches and dents right here and there, but that's it. So a couple times should be fine. And this one is the big one. Let's see if I can subdivide. So 5. And then subdivide 6 times will be about almost 40 million. And so should be enough detail here. Yeah, I don't really like to working in like very high poly. Maybe my machine isn't that great, so maybe it kind of slows down the process. But let's see. So I have a 6 subdivision for the one that I will be sculpting. So for working mesh, I will go with the subdivision 5, and I will maybe increase the subdivision whenever I need higher amount of detail. So what I'm trying to do is mostly adding a dent and some damages really. There's a lot of like ornament detail, like carved detail here. There's some letters, and then some I guess some prints or painting. It's not painting, but maybe more like carved detail. So but I will handle them in painting process. So in GBrush, I will just adding a dents and damages, like break up edges, and that's all I think. Okay, so there's a few other references that I found. I mean, not a whole lot, but this kind of plate mail is supposed to be very hard, of course. So they are not like changing their shape drastically. So they have some dents, like localized dent, and some scratches. I think this might be some movie props, I suppose, but because it looks like very intentional the way it's damaged, but still looks pretty interesting. So I will adding some edge breaker like this, and the scratches over like global dents, and same as this one. I mean, these two are very similar. So this kind of dents, of course, and a bit of like hammered edges here and there. So yeah, it will be, I guess, fairly simple process in general. Okay, so start with, I will put this into the morph target at the highest level. So just in case I made some mistake or made some unintentional like damages or lose to some surface, then I can always come back. And I'm gonna create some layer. So for the same reason, I can always bring back the original like sculpt or original shape, whatever I want. So same reason, if I have layer, I can always come back whenever I want. So I have two basically software insurance that I have. One is morph target and one is layer. So I will start with some noise. I mean, the reason why I'm start with noise is kind of easy to like break up uniformly overall. So I have some place to start. Okay, something like this. And I'll name this layer as noise. And then bake it. So I can actually tell what I have on my mesh, because noise is basically preview until actually baked onto the surface. So as you can see, it's not really what it looked like before after it applied to the mesh, but it's okay. And then some area actually went too far, so it lost its original kind of shape because it's displaced too much, which is fine because we have a morph brush and morph target. And yeah, and then also we have like noise in the layer, so we can slide the amount. So if I slide, we'll create a new layer, and then adjust this noise layer to maybe halfway. Yeah, this will help to break up the clean like specular highlights. And all this kind of thing is basically flipped because the surface was too thin. And then noise was kind of pushing this geometry on each side. So this mesh, this side kind of pushed in, and then the upside kind of pushed down. So the mesh got flipped. So this kind of area I can morph it back. And actually go down to the lower subdivision. And then I'll turn on the backface mask. Actually topological, so I won't affect the backside and the other side of mesh. I think noise cleanup is almost done. So I'm gonna merge the mesh, the layers. Then I'm gonna detailing up the this armor with the some custom metal brushes. So it's called FR Metal Dots Metal and then Rust. I got it from online here. So Google search with the FR and then you'll find this made by this gentleman here. And I did test a little bit before and it works quite nicely. And it's currently handed out for free. So go and grab it. Yeah. So I'm gonna use the Rust 1, Metal 1, and Dot 3, which I put them into my Z data, so I can load it by default. So Metal Dots, Metal Rust, we go one by one, and name this layer to Metal Details. And it's pretty light. Increase intensity to 40-ish. I mean, they are not like quite super different from the original noise, but it is different, and then it will really help me to break up some sort of evenness, because noise is basically procedure, so it throw out some sort of pattern. So it looks okay from in some area, but then if you see from distance, it all basically covered with this similar pattern. So it's very important to break them up. Okay, so alpha brush pass seems okay. I will probably add more later, but I will move on to the actual sculpting. Yeah, so the reason why I started from the ARPA layout and covers of the model is it's, well, for me it usually give me better kind of place to start and then give me better idea what's gonna be supposed to look like, and help me to see which area or what kind of a like element that I need to sculpt. Okay, so from this point I'm gonna add a some dent and then some edge breakup using sculpting brushes. And then, well, meantime I can actually turn off those noise and then mirror details so that I can keep those sculpted information in these two layers. So since this is just a mirror like armor, it doesn't have some specific patterns or any sort of a like shape that I need to match, because majorly shape has been modeled already. So all I need is just to break up shape so that it can get more interesting, and then works better with the other noise passes. So just like this area, just adding some bit of sculpting and some polish if there's anything that needed. So the break up this is very simple, like edge along the surface. I'm working in Subdivision 5, so I can work a bit faster. Some of them might be too much. It's actually a bit hard to tell where I'm sculpting. This is only I can see the like harsher, so I can still using the more brush to bring back some dent that seems too much.